All righty. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to January 2020. And this is a special gift live record webinar. We are so excited to have him here with us with Unleashing Your Strengths. This kind of came about. Can you hear me? My internet said it was unstable. Yeah? Okay. This came about because we actually had Eddie come to Portland for a live training for us a month and a half ago, and it was really, really incredible and wonderful, and we had such a wonderful time. And the way in which it there we go. Sorry about that. Just watching those things. It allowed those of us who were there to really deepen into the foundation of this material and how you can use it in your, first of all, in your business, but everywhere in your life, in your relationship, in everything that you do. And like any other system, it's only as good as how much you kind of dig into it and understand it. And so I wanted to go further with some of my team with some coaching with Eddie, and he really recommended that we come and have everyone come and reset with this foundation of the Unleashing Your Strength. So here we are with this for the entire team. And thank you so much, Eddie, for being with us. And I'm just going to hand it over to you.
Well, I once again, you guys are just amazing. Like, you all are just, I shouldn't say you guys, you ladies are amazing. Like, seriously, this is an honor for me to be able, and I'm always going to say that because I am so massively grateful that I get to do this. Like I said, this is probably my 5th call in the last couple of days.
They're under the blanket.
Hey, Melissa,
sorry.
good to have you on. There we go. Anyway, I love it. And I won't ever stop doing this. And I'm just so grateful because ultimately what I love doing the most about this when it comes to strengths is helping people love on who they already are and not ever making anyone feel like they need to be something they're not in order to have something that they don't have, right? Like, it's kind of weird. I've gone through so many trainings and programs myself and a lot of massive self-development because I came from such a nasty place and hating myself for so long that I learned some interesting things about the way people are being taught how to do things. And one of the things, the massive things I learned is that so many of us are being taught how to do things the way other people do, but in the framework of this is the only way to do it, right? And what I've learned with strengths is how the opposite is absolutely true. This is how I do it, and you can do it your way. That's like the thing that I love the most. So I'm just so grateful that I get to spread this message with more people and share it. And I'm just like so honored. So let's do this because I was told I've got plenty of time here to hang out with you all and break all these things down. If you don't mind, what I'd love to do first is get everyone familiar with how Zoom works, okay? For those of you who may or may not be really efficient at this, I want to invite you all to interact with me in the chat. So I kind of go on some explanations about things, but I really want to interact with you all. For me, I want to make this more of a workshop style so that you're not just sitting there listening to me talk for forever. You're going to be doing some work, and you're going to be doing some work that's going to help you love who you are ultimately. And so how I love to do that the most when it comes to the chat is what I would love for you all to do is just let's all get familiar with the chat and just take a moment and think about what it is that made you come here and do this. Okay. What did you want to get out of this? I don't know if you all know, but everybody's busy. Okay. We're all busy. We all have things we have to do. Yet here you are making the choice to invest your life, which is time, right? For the next hour and a half, 2 hours, you have invested that time with me and this group. And what I want to know is why, right? What did you come here for? what I want to do as best I can is to make sure that all, what's about 34 of you here, all 34 of you get that thing that you came here to invest for. And then my plan is to give you just a little bit more to have you going, oh my gosh, that was so much fun. I learned so much about me and I can't wait to go and apply it. Like, that's my agenda here, okay? That's what I want to get out. I want to get out of this. So take your time for a moment and just get clearer. What is one thing you want to take away from this? One of the main reasons why I'm asking this is I want to get a clear idea of where you are. This, for me, is a basic first activity of how I use my strengths. So to give you all a little understanding about me, I have of my 34 strengths, my top 10, in my top 10 strengths, there are 5 of the influencing domain, which means that I have a massive desire to move people forward, okay? 5 of my 10, that's half, are all about moving people forward. And so the primary function of an influencing activity, and anybody can do this, whether you're an influencer or not, doesn't matter, is to start with where people are. And instead of doing what we normally do, which is just, we already know where people are and then we project it onto them without their, without their permission. Okay. So instead, I want you to tell me, where are you? What is it you came here for? So I can get that established. The second thing I want to invite you all to do is, of course, mute yourself just temporarily. I promise. I'm going to ask a lot of you all to come on and share feedback. So this is not going to just be me talking. But what I would really love to encourage everybody, if you can, is to turn on your camera. If you're in the bathroom, don't turn on your camera, okay? But if you can turn on your camera, do that. That way I can see your faces and I can see what you're getting out of this. And it's not me just looking at a little dot on my computer staring at it. I want to connect with you. I want to feel you. I want to get an idea where you are so that as I go, I stay with you and I don't go off on some tangent, okay? My number one strength is strategic. And one of the basements of strategic is people believing or like getting lost and feeling like I've gone too far or gone in a direction that they just can't follow, right? It's too much. So in order to do that, I want to interact with you. Open up your camera if you can. And I've got 2 screens of cameras here. So I'll bounce back and forth. Anyway. And I'm recognizing some familiar faces here. Like I see Ariana here. Hello. And a few people that I saw at the Portland event. Yes? Raise your hand if you were at the Portland event. Okay, that's quite a bit. Okay, right on. Awesome. So today, and Aisha, I want to make sure I get clear about what we're going to be covering. Obviously, we're going to talk about strengths, but what I want to do is make sure that, like, get an idea of how much, when it comes to building doTERRA, you and Josie just came back from Elise's event, right?
Oh, you're echoing all these. Do you have both computers on?
I'm good now.
Okay.
So where was I? Oh yeah. So I know you guys all came from Elise's event, right? And oh my gosh, one of the wonderful things that she did was create the daily mentor calls. What I would love to do is leave this open. So if anybody wants to like go really in depth and understanding how to do all of that in a way that honors your strengths, I want to be open to covering those things. So I'm just letting you all know we can talk about those and we can break those down. Does that sound good? Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Thank you for the thumbs up. That's good. So let's get into it. So first off, what I really want to do is share 3 really quick things with you all. First off, go over like a kind of a rehash for some of you, and for somebody who's going to be brand new, understanding what's so wonderful about strengths and why should you all care. We're going to go into that because I honestly know now it's like almost 3 years since we were introduced to it at Leadership and doTERRA, that I know now we got a very watered down version of strengths at that time. And it's not doTERRA's fault. It's not Gallup's fault. This is just the way that they introduced it. And I've had so many conversations with Emily. Her and I have talked about it. And we're prepared to go in more depth. And I can tell you right now that strengths is not going to go away. It's going to just kind of be dialed up. And I'm excited to share that with you. So we're going to talk about what's wonderful about strengths. And we're going to talk about how do we apply your strengths? Like what do I do with them? So we're going to go in depth on how we take it and actually create action. So if you've got 3 or more executing strengths, those purple ones in your top 10, I promise you, we're going to get a lot of to-do list stuff. Okay. And then the last part is, how do we take it and help other people with it, right? How do we duplicate with it? In just the first 15 or 20 minutes of this, you're going to get some stuff that's going to help you work with other people today. You're going to be able to take just what we're going to learn in the first 20 minutes, and you're going to be able to talk to another person and actually have a conversation about their strengths and get to know them in the ways that you never knew before, or you did know, but now it makes sense. Especially if they were particularly frustrating people for you. Okay. We're going to get into that. And so if that sounds good, let's get started. So, okay. First off, real quick, I just want you to understand, for those of you who don't know me, my wife and I, we've been building doTERRA since June of 2011. We've only recently hit the rank of Blue Diamond. And we're currently working on solidifying Blue Diamond using the daily mentor calls, and we want to hit presidential, which means that we'll have 6 platinums and above on our front line, which is exciting for me because I know these people are family. And I know how that kind of a business is going to bless them and bless the people underneath with them too. So that's where I'm at right now. Where this whole strengths thing came for me was in a time where I had just come out of a 3-year massive depression. I was like in a place where I hated who I was for 3 straight years. And I had just spent the last 2 years, okay? So I had just spent the last 2 years after that coming out of it, like really digging myself out of that pit that I had put myself in when we were just first starting building our business. So when strengths got introduced, I had just finally started to believe in myself again. Like, because I started to create results. When I got really involved in our business because I woke up was when we were gold. And so I worked with my wife to build my belief in myself as well as our business to move into platinum, diamond, and eventually blue diamond. And then we got introduced to strengths at Gallup. We got introduced to strengths by doTERRA. And when doTERRA first said, okay, you got to do this strengths thing. We want to find out what your strengths are because it's going to be a big part of this leadership thing. I'm going to be real with you all. My eyes could not have rolled back further into my head. I tried. Okay. Like I was so like, my first thought was, oh my gosh, how many of these personality tests do I have to take to do this business? Okay. And the reason why I struggled with personality tests so much is because it felt like so many of them grouped me. And I didn't believe I belonged to any group. I believed in my heart that I was something unique and different, but I couldn't explain it or articulate it without sounding like a total egotistical jerk, right? So it was just something I had a belief inside of me that I didn't share. But when strengths got introduced, I learned very quickly that this strengths assessment was not about how I'm in a group. It's actually what makes me unique and what sets me apart. And coming from just a marketing and business standpoint, that was a really smart thing, right? Oh my gosh, I could use my strengths to help me differentiate myself from other people that are doing doTERRA. Like there's over 1 million people doing doTERRA as a business. I got to stand out, right? And this strengths assessment showed how I could stand out, but then I wanted to know more. So I became obsessed. Long story short, I worked for 1.5 years for free with over, I'd say 500 to 1,000 people, one-on-one or in groups. I went to Gallup's certification course, did that, all of those things in an hour and in 1.5 years. And to finally come to the point where I was making such an impact on people's lives that I got the attention of Emily Wright. And I put together a workshop, right, and a private group and all this other stuff to help people with applying their strengths. And then it got so good, I got so good at it that Emily Wright was going to do a retreat for her diamond leaders in Canada. And about 3 weeks before the retreat, they trashed their whole idea and their plan on how they were going to do it. And Emily said to Austin Ruff, who's one of the account managers or whatever with the Terra Diamonds in Canada, and she said to Austin, call Eddie. Like I gotta tell you, my friends, coming from a place of hating myself for 3 years to being able to work my butt off to create enough value to get Emily Wright's attention so that she tells Austin to message me to work with her diamonds in Canada, that's insane. Okay. To me, that's insane still. And then when I went into doTERRA to meet with them to talk about what they had planned, they had no other person coming. I found out that they wanted me to do the entire day with the diamonds from 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. I worked with those diamonds and their strengths. I took a lot of the things I did in the retreat at Portland and I applied it with those diamonds out there, and it was unbelievable. It was awesome. It was so good that now I'm looking at my calendar real quick, in the next 4 months, I have 5 more of these workshops already scheduled. 3 of them, of course, are in Canada, right? I'm a hit in Canada, my friends. They love me out there. and Vegas, and March 10th at Leadership, I'm doing another one, and you all are invited to that, okay? But these workshops are designed specifically to do what I'm going to try to do with you all in just a couple of hours, is just build this solid belief in yourself that you are perfect for what you want to do. And it makes me happy every time I help another person do that, because it's almost like me helping myself all over again. So the bottom line here, my friend, is I'm obsessed. I'm absolutely obsessed with helping people do this. And this is all I want to do for the rest of my life. I'm not just here to talk to you for the next hour and a half. I'm here to get involved in your development forever. That's what I want. And if you'll have me, okay? But let's see. That's how I do. So the first thing I want to share with you is a lot of the stuff that I learned from the hundreds of people that I've worked with privately, as well as a 60-page report I read from Gallup where they talked about where this assessment came from. This is stuff that nobody was talking about. Gallup wasn't talking about it, Leadership, and doTERRA never talks about it. Ultimately, these are the things that make the biggest difference in helping people love their strengths. And if you need more proof on that, we've got Aisha Harley, who's one of the most powerful leaders I've ever met, and Josie, and so many of you all are amazing leaders, actually taking a couple of hours out of your day to listen to me talk about it. So that's the proof that this is going to be awesome. So first off, I want to share with you real quick some really cool numbers that I think will have you immediately loving yourself on a new level. So who you are is about to be a little different than who you are right now is about to change just a little bit, and you're going to like it. So the first thing I want to share with you is these numbers, and I love numbers because numbers tell stories, and these ones tell a really powerful one. When you take this strengths assessment, okay, it shows you something really cool. And it's this. So the first thing I want you to do is, I hope everybody has paper and pen. You're going to get a lot of notes and a lot of activity, a lot of action items today. So make sure you've got something to write with. Awesome, Pauline. I see you. Right on. And the first thing I want you to write down at the top is the number 7.7 billion. Okay. Write that down. 7.7 billion. This is what the census estimates is the number of people currently living on the planet, okay? So we'll call it give or take, okay? 7.7 billion, give or take. And if everyone on the planet took the assessment, okay, we want to know what these numbers look like. If everyone on the planet took the assessment, okay, so here's how it works. If everyone on the planet took the assessment, the chances of another person having the same top 5 as you, but in different order, is 1 in 280,000. Okay, I want you to write that down. And by the way, while I'm asking you to write, when we go through this notes process, I'll tell you what notes to write down. Since this is being recorded, feel free to more write down ideas or thoughts you have. It's probably a little bit better. And you'll be able to go over this recording and write notes again based on what I talk about. But as far as the important stuff, I will point out what to write down, I promise. So 1 in 280,000, that's the chances of another person having the same top 5 strengths as you, but in different order. And the order matters, okay? The order is very important. The chances of another person having the same top 5 as you, but in that exact precise order, is 1 in 33 million. Okay, write that number underneath it. The same top 5 in the same order is 1 in 33 million. Okay. Now let's find out what these numbers mean. I wanted to really kind of understand this for me. Like, what's the big deal? Well, I took these numbers and I divided them into 7.7 billion, and I found these other numbers. So if we were to take the whole planet, everyone took the assessment, and then we were to put you in a room with everyone that has the same top 5 as you, but in different order. That's that first number. That would be you in a room with 27,500 other people. Okay, so how I came up with that is I basically divided 7.7 billion by 280,000. Simple, right? So that means that we would put you in a room, but basically would be like an arena, okay, a big sports arena, 27,500 other people. That's you, and those people would all have the same top 5, but in different order. Not really unique, right? That's a total group. This is what bothered me about personality tests. But if we were to take that group of 27,500 and then, okay, now we're going to separate you into another room where you're just going to be with people from that group who have the same top 5 as you in the exact same order. And you would, how it would work is you would go from that room of 27,500 into another room with 233 people. So that is the whole planet, my friends. If the whole planet took the assessment, it would be you and 233 people who have the same top 5, but in the exact same order. 233 out of 7.7 billion. Okay, I'm seeing some shocked faces. Let's find out what this really means. This is where it gets really good. I see you with your grinning, Brenda. I love it. Here's what's really cool. If we were to add the 6th strength, and we would take everybody from that room of 233 and say, okay, now go into this room with people who have the same top 6 as you in the exact same order, you would be in that room by yourself. What that means, my friend, is just from the top 6 alone, you are different than anybody currently living on this planet. You are unique compared to anyone currently living on this planet just from the top 6. If we were to open up the full 34 and ask and find out what's the odds of another person having the same report as you from 1 all the way to 34, that number is so big, it's actually more than there have ever been people on the planet. It's more than there will ever be people on the planet. So what I want you to write down underneath all those numbers is this is the realization that comes from those numbers. I am infinitely unique. I am infinitely unique and cannot be duplicated. I am infinitely unique and cannot be duplicated. Here's some more good news. Do you ever watch someone on stage and then you see them talking and they're talking about all the things that they've created in their life and you think, wow, that's wonderful. I can see that it's possible. I can do that too. But where we make the mistake is we start to go, well, how did you do it? And then we start to see how we are so not like that. Well, duh. Because that person on stage is also infinitely unique and cannot be duplicated. You can do what they do, but never the way they do it. You can call people and invite them to doTERRA and try samples, and you can do all those things, but you can't do it the specific way that they do it. We've got to do it in a way that honors who you are, because you are something that no one else can show, right? So like, for example, whenever I've been creating trainings and programs for years. And when I got into strengths, I was like, I'm done. I don't want to create a program anymore. I just want to create a program that helps people create their own programs, because I would rather you create a program that's perfect for you And so like for my strengths group is all about helping people understand who they are as a unique individual and guiding them through that process of doing things authentically. Okay? So the last thing I want to share with you on this note before I transition and help you understand what's wonderful about the strengths report is that it proves that comparison is absolutely irrelevant. Comparison is useless. Comparison is a waste of time, energy. It brings nothing of value because there's no truth in it. Here's one more proof, and then we'll just kind of joke on this one. Just go to a beach or a swimming pool or wherever where there's people in their bathing suits and try to find two people with the same body. It doesn't exist. But yet we look at them and we go, oh, I'll suck in my stomach like, oh man, I can almost look like that. Right? Or we'll walk around like, everybody see the gym? You know what I mean? It's a joke. You know what I mean? And when I try to compare myself to other people, I am then being inauthentic, which is why people are so rejected. And if I just love who I am, just stick that belly out, let everyone see it, I'm being authentic and people love it. And that's how it works. Okay? So I would love to just take a moment. I'm seeing a lot of people here share some like some big aha moments here. Does anybody here want to just take a moment and share what you just took away from that part? I'm giving you permission to unmute yourself and just talk for just a second and just share what you pulled away from that. Assuming this is the first time you've heard this.
I love what Pauline Erickson just shared on the chat, if she wants to pipe up and share it.
Yeah, Pauline, we're looking at you now. She's not mute. She's muted. So we can help her with that.
There.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, it was hard to see the mute button. Yeah, I just shared that. Well, you haven't talked about the bottom strengths yet. I don't know if you will.
I will.
But it's hard for me to hear at trainings how we have to be consistent with our activity when consistency is like my second to last.
Yeah.
Strength, and my third to last is self-discipline. So it's kind of a tough one. But yet achiever is in my top 5. So it's kind of an interesting. So I hope that you'll talk somehow about that coming up. So I appreciate everything I'm hearing though. It's great.
Good. Okay, Pauline, you helped me transition so perfectly to the next part. So I want to teach you all, Pauline especially, but everybody else here who have had the same thoughts and feelings. Because I get this a lot. People saying things, well, I have this strength low. Does that mean I can't do this? And I have this strength high. Does that mean I can't do this? I don't have any of these strengths. And does that mean I can't do those things? And I want to teach you all the golden rule. So everyone write down the golden rule. This is the golden rule. And I'm going to say it like about 7 or 8 times to help you all say it, to get clear about this. Your strengths report has nothing to do with what you can or cannot do. That's not what the strengths assessment is for. Remember that Don Clifton, when he created this assessment, he was tired of the way that employment agencies and the school system that you all grew up in was all about developing weaknesses. It was all about that. So we were taught at a very young age to focus on what we were not good at so that we could feel better about ourselves. I mean, come on. Does that really even make sense? Of course not. And so we were taught to focus on our weaknesses to bring them up. So if you're really great at art, don't work on it anymore. You're there. So now just work on math. But what they didn't understand is that if we keep focusing on the things that we are not good at and trying to bring them up, at best, we'll go from, so like I'm using this, I'll do this visual this way. So here's what we're good at, right? Here's what we're great at. And here's what we're not so good at. And what the school system and the employment system back then were all about was, let's develop those weaknesses. But what was happening is that our strengths were not being developed at all. And so what was happening is both of them were kind of getting met at the middle. Because at best, my friends, when you develop a weakness, at best, you're going to be mediocre. And if you're not developing your talents and strengths, those become mediocre as well. The bottom line is that when I work on my weaknesses, I'm the best. At best, I'll be mediocre. So your strengths assessment, which is Don Clifton's mission, which was to help people focus on their talents and strengths and use it with everything. Your strengths assessment has nothing to do with what you can or cannot do. The purpose of it is to help you see how you can do all of that your way. Your way, which always works. And I want you to write that down. My strengths assessment shows how I do everything my way, and it works every time. And we're going to get clear about what your way is in a little bit, because most of us think that our way is a certain way, but it's actually not. It's actually going into our bottom strengths, but we'll talk about it. I promise you, Pauline. So, but every time someone comes to me and says things like, and I'm going to give you guys ammunition right here, because people will say this to you a lot. Well, I saw my strengths and I didn't like them. Why not? Well, because it looks like I'm this total jerk who doesn't care about people. And so what I want you to do is say, well, why do you say that? And they'll say, because, well, it looks like I can't do this and I can't do that. And who wants to go into that conversation? I get it. I don't either. So I'm giving you guys the ammunition to say this. That comment or that question, hey, how do I do this when I don't have these strengths, is a weakness question in a strengths conversation. It doesn't belong. That is a weakness question in a strengths conversation. See the golden rule. Right? So Pauline is talking about consistency, which is a little off from what the consistency strength actually means, which I'll explain what that means in a little bit, what I mean by that. But when we're talking about consistency, we can all be consistent, but we're going to do it our own way. Okay. Just here's case in point. Here's a little proof. Okay. We all eat on a regular basis. We all sleep on a regular basis, even if it's just a short while. We still sleep, right? We brush our teeth, most of us, hopefully, on a consistent basis, right? Some of us maybe floss. I don't know. But we bathe on a consistent basis. It may maybe not be every day, but it's consistent, right? So we do have the capability of being consistent. We're just going to do it our way. So let's kind of transition to the next part, the top and bottom strengths. So let's kind of understand those things. In working with hundreds and hundreds of people, I learned how all the strengths are strengths. Okay. So your 34th strength is a strength that you can use, just like your first one. But what I want you to do is think about your top strengths. In this case, we're just going to focus on the top 10. And what I've learned is the top 10 is where your strengths are highest. Okay, so write this down. Top 10 strengths are where I am most authentic, is where I am authentic. Not most, it's where I am authentic. That is me, my top 10 strengths. My top 10 strengths are also where my energy is highest. It's where I'm my most influential of other people. It's where I get things done. Okay. It's where I connect with people better. It's where I build my belief in myself. It's where I make more money. It's where I create more happiness, freedom, joy, all of those things. Write all those things down. Bottom line is my top 10 strengths is where that's where I'm my best. My bottom 5 strengths, which is the ones I found to be the most potent, the bottom 5 are where I'm the opposite of all those things. When I try to do things that way, I have the opposite effect. My energy gets drained. I am not influential. I don't get things done. I become less productive, right? I develop less of a belief in myself. I get in other people's business, right? It's basically the best analogy I've come up with, and I'm not sure if I talked about this at Portland because it was something kind of recent, is I want you to look at your top 10 strengths as being a hammer, okay? And your bottom 5 strengths being a ham sandwich, okay? And the thing that you're trying to do is drive a 2-inch nail through a 2x4. Okay, so here it comes. This is where it gets funny. A lot of times we forget or we ditch the fact that who we are is perfect, and we literally put down the hammer, and we don't know how to just go in our middle strengths. We just go all the way down to the bottom, and we pick up a ham sandwich and we try to drive a 2-inch nail through a 2x4. Now I want you to think about how this will feel. If you literally pick up a nice sandwich, I mean, got like lettuce, we got some ham, we'll throw in some salami, turkey, whatever you like, some cheese, a lot of mayonnaise, mustard, whatever, whatever things you guys want on there. We'll just put that all in there. A nice, big, fat, juicy sandwich. And then we start driving a nail through a 2x4. I want you to think about that. Drive it, physically, a sandwich with a nail. And what's going to happen is you'll start to develop this like welt in your hand, so it's really painful, but you keep doing it anyway because you think you got to muscle through it, right? This will work. And we keep muscling through it, and then it just gets more and more painful, and we start bleeding, and it starts hurting, but we just keep thinking that maybe the fact that I'm feeling tired and in pain is a good thing, and I just need to keep going. So we keep pushing and keep slamming, and then the sandwich is falling apart. We pick it up, we put it back together, and we keep going. That's what we look like when we're doubting ourselves. Now, I want you to imagine someone you love walking in the room while you're doing this. And I want you to describe to me what it is they feel. What are the emotions that they're going to feel and go through when they watch you doing this? Put it in the chat. Ariana says, it would be absurd, right? At first, they're totally like, are you crazy? What's wrong with you? But you're like, no, this is going to work. You pick up the sandwich, you just watch, and you keep doing it, right? And then Christy says, what the heck is she doing, right? What are you doing? And Robin's like horrified, like, right? Brenda says, probably laugh really hard at first, then try to stop the madness. Yeah. Arena says, I'd find it comical, right? But you feel how it would trigger them. Oh, Robin, this is a good one, right? Oh, you silly goose, let me do it for you. Melissa says discomfort. Yes. It becomes uncomfortable, painful. When I'm in my bottom 5 strengths, my wife will say things like, Eddie, I just want to throat punch you. That's our love term for each other when we get into our bottom strengths. She's like, Eddie, you're in your bottom 5, stop it. I just want to throat punch you right now. Get back to your top 10 strengths where you believe in yourself. It works better. Pick up the hammer, put down that stupid sandwich. It's not working. And what happens is when we do things in our bottom 5 strengths, we get a physical drain in our body. We feel pain. And the people that we're trying to help or do things in that way completely reject us, say no, run for the hills. And they don't ever want to come around you again because that whole thing was so awkward and weird. Right? And so if it's awkward and weird for the people I'm trying to help, and it hurts so much, and it physically drains me, why are we doing it? And it's simply because we have chosen subconsciously to believe that who we are wasn't going to work. And so what happens is we end up getting involved in this thing called hesitation. So what's hesitation? It's when and I want you to write this down. What is hesitation? Hesitation comes when we have a problem that we want to solve, but we have chosen to believe that being who we are is not going to work. That's why we hesitate. We chose to believe in our subconscious, and we believe that who we are was not going to work. So we hesitated because we can't figure out how to do it in a way that honors who we are, because most of us don't even know who we are. So here's a great example, and this is a doTERRA example. You guys will love this. When it comes to, let's say you've got your 100 names list, right? And we're all on the daily mentor calls. We've got our 100 names list, and I'm going to go call people. Okay, you're going to be you when you call them because you have no choice. You can't be some weirdo when you're calling them. So you're going to call them, and you're going to invite them to try a sample. Wonderful. You're being you because it's easy. It's just a sample. What's the big deal? Not a whole lot at stake here. And then they'll try the sample. Then you'll follow up with them, and they'll say, yeah, I tried the sample. It was great. And you will be you when you're inviting them to a presentation. You'll still be you. And it'll work because it's consistent. And they're like, sure, I'd love to come to a presentation. They come to a presentation, whether that's a one-on-one, a class, or whatever, and then you'll present to them. And during that presentation, no pressure. All I'm going to do is share value. So you start being you and you're telling them all about how oils will work with the problems they have based on the samples they got and whatever. And it's working really well. And the person you're inviting and sharing this with is really digging it because you're being you through this whole process. But then it's time to ask for money. And what do we all do? Well, let's just say what most of us do, especially when we first started. It's definitely what I did, was I tried to replay in my head how many times I heard other people close. I'm going to pull up the newest Lisa Zimmer close, the newest Alicia Chevy close, or whatever close, and I'm going to stop being me, and I'm going to be them, because who I am is not going to work in the close. And I'm going to be them. Put down the freaking hammer and pick up the ham sandwich. And I'm going to do it right in front of them. And guess what happens? Look at the comments in the chat. Horror, embarrassed, discomfort. That's how we make people feel when we stop being who we are at the point where we're asking for money. Right? They felt it. They don't even know what happened, but they felt it. And that's why they say things like, let me think about it, even though I have massive problems with my health. Let me think about it. Let me talk to my husband. Let me talk to my wife. Let me look at my finances. I get paid next week. Whatever I can say to you to get away from you right now, because what happened was weird. And I can't even explain it. So I'm just going to be nice and say, let me think about it. I've done it. I've done so many one-on-ones with people. And every time I look at the ones that said that, I go, oh my gosh, I know exactly what I did wrong. I got weird. I tried to be something I wasn't instead of just being honest and telling them who I was. Well, how do you know who you are if you don't know? I mean, how do you do that if you don't know who you are? And that's what the strengths assessment is going to show you. And so what I want to share with you real quick is, how do we stay who we are through everything? The first thing we have to do is establish a place where we believe it. So it's not going to work if I tell you who you are. What's going to work is if you look at the strengths assessment in a way that I've helped people look at it over the last 2 years and own it and say, yes, it's totally me. That's all I want to do, things like that. So let me see real quick. Okay, cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the domains. Okay. So Gallup polled, just so you all know some really cool stuff. Gallup polled 2 million people to come up with these 34 talents and strengths. It was a very rigorous, study in how people operate. Really amazing. And it was so good that it allows me to look at your strengths and instantly know who you are. In 5 minutes, I have you all broken down in a way that's amazing, because I will tell you what's amazing about you. And you will say to me, that's totally me. And that's all I want to do, is that way. And as a mentor, as a support, as a trainer, as a leader and a guide of this whole thing, being able to get on the same page with you about who you are is critical. It has to be the first thing we do, right? So let's do that together. All right. So how I've learned is that Gallup did this really cool thing about 10 years ago, and they took all 34 strengths and talents and broke them up into 4 leadership domains. So here's the first indication for you all to get really clear about who you are. These domains show you who you are. Now check this out. This is awesome. In the 60-page report, what's his name? Don Clifton said, there's a quote in this report that I read. It's this one little quote in there that just blew my mind. And I don't know why everybody doesn't talk about it but me. And it's that he said that we develop, and I want you to write this down, Don Clifton quote, okay? We develop talents and strengths based on desires. That's what he said. So I want you to think about this. We develop talents and strengths based on desires. Okay? We develop talents and strengths based on desires. When I read that as I'm going through this report, I stopped on that for a second. I thought, what does that mean? We develop talents and strengths. And I started thinking about my childhood and my life and growing up. And then I looked at my strengths and I started realizing that all my life, there are certain things that I've wanted. And what happened was I developed my talents and strengths to help me get that in a direct fashion. Okay? So when I look at my strengths report, I don't just see how I'm good at everything, I actually see what I desire. So my strengths, how I love to do everything, and my desires, what matters to me most, equals me. That's who I am. There's nothing else. I don't have anything else. All I am is how I like to do things and what matters to me most. Right? Whether that's my spirituality or believing that health or connection should be first, or moving people forward, or getting things done, or whatever. So when I look at my strengths assessment, I was like, oh my gosh, how do I break this down so I can help other people understand it? It's the domains. So when working with hundreds of people, just, oh my gosh, I'd say probably at about 1,000 now. I mean, no joke. I'm on the phone every day with people. Okay. So what I learned was that each of these 4 domains have their own unique talent, their own unique desires. Okay. So I'm going to break them down for you, and I want you all to kind of do this with me. Okay. So when you have a lot of these strengths, and I'll explain what a lot is, in your top 10, it shows who you are, not just how you love to do things. That's why when people show me their strengths report in 5 minutes, I'm really getting to know them in a very deep level. And so here's how I'm going to help you get to know yourself. This is what I would do if I was standing in front of you. First thing, you got to know these domains. And the first domain we're going to talk about is relationship building. And it's the one that are in blue. That's the first domain, right? Relationship building. The second one is influencing. Okay. And I'm putting them in the color that you'll see them color coded in your report. So you can go to your report and reference this. The next one is executing. And the last one is strategic thinking. Each of these domains have their own unique desires, okay, as a dominant. So I want you to think of these 4 domains as 4 different people who only want one thing each, okay? Now, you're not going to be tied to this one desire, but this one desire is going to be a big part of who you are. At most, you're only going to have 3 of these as a dominant desire. I'd say about 20% of you are going to have 3 of these as a dominant. About 80% of you are going to have 2 of them. And another 10 or 20%, I don't know what the 100 is only going to have 1 as a dominant desire. Okay. But I want to break them down so you can all understand this. So the relationship builders have 1 desire only, which is to connect with people. Sorry, go back. Connect with the right people. Sorry. Connect with the right people. Now, the right people can be a lot of people, or it can be a couple of people. Ultimately, it's a desire to connect depending on where relator and includer are. I'll get into that a little bit later. But essentially, it's connecting with the right people. So whatever the right people means, you connect on a deep level, okay? People of high relationship building domain, if you have like 3 or more of the relationship building domain in your top 10, then you have a desire to connect with the right people. You enjoy seeing people move forward, but not at the risk of the connecting, okay? The next one is the influencing, which is to move people forward. So that means establishing where a person is, where they want to go, how they want to get there, and how you can help. How you can help is a big part of the influencing desire. We all want to be all up in your business when you're moving forward, okay? We want to be a part of it. We want to see it happening. It's like a thrill ride, okay? So people of high influencing, let's say 3 or more influencing, enjoy connecting with people, but prefer making sure that people are moving forward. Now, if you've got relationship building and influencing, you got a little bit of both. So we'll kind of get into how that works for you. The executing domain is simply to make sure that things are getting done the right way. The right way could be fast. The right way could be slow. The right way could be telling the truth. The right way could be adhering to core values. The right way could be, I don't care, talk to people, just do it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of different ideas on what the right way is. But the overlying desire with executing is to make sure things are done right. So what do executors typically do is make lists. And the reason why they make lists is because they want some kind of measurement that to show that things are being done or getting done the right way. And what is a list for an executor? It could be a physical list where you make a list, writing them down, or a list in your head. Or sometimes an executor, I saw this once, where an executor, I went to her office and she's like, I don't make lists and I don't write them down on paper and I don't do it in my head. But what I do, Eddie, is I take all the files I have for that day and I stack them. And the top file is the number one thing I got to do. And the bottom one is the last important thing I got to do. There's her list. It's her pile of files. So anyway, but ultimately executors love to do that. Executors also, you know, when they, like one of the reasons why, and this is really funny, and I love this, my wife is a dominant executor. So when I talk about executing, I get very playful because my wife is adorable to me. And so what my wife will do is, and with her and I've had this discussion, she feels like when she wakes up, the score is 0. The score, yeah, there's a scoreboard up there. And so when she wakes up, the score is 0. So she makes a list of things to do so she could get points. And every time she does something, she checks it off the list and then she sees the scoreboard with the point. And then while she's out there busy doing things, if she does other things while she's out there, she comes back, reviews her list, sees what she did, but it's not on the list. So she adds it to the list so she can tick it off so she can get the points. Right? Do you guys follow me? So executors, it's all about getting that stuff done, making sure it's done the right way. And I love that about her and dominant executors especially. All right. So the last one here is strategic thinkers. They have one main desire, which is to think, create, and learn. Or a combination of two. So not all strategic thinkers love to create, not all strategic thinkers love to learn, but all strategic thinkers love to either think and create, think and learn, or think, create, and learn. Okay? So in essence, that's it. Those are the desires. So what I want you to do is take a look at your top 10 and make a note of everything you have in your top 10 of 3 or more. Go ahead. If you don't have 3 or more, just don't even bother looking at it just yet. We're just going to start and understand your dominant domain, which, as you understand now, is actually, or I should say, it's also your dominant desire.
Where do you find the domain? I don't have my original strengths list, so I'm trying to figure out, like, communication, is that which of these domains? Is there a place in the book to find it, or?
It wouldn't be in the book. Well, it's in the book, but it's not an efficient place to look for it right now. In your report, it should be listed next to the actual strength itself. If you can't find it, Pauline, we can go through yours and we can find out yours in front of everybody if you want to do that.
I don't want to waste people's time. I mean, if other people.
Oh, no. It won't be a waste of time. You're going to I'm going to prove it to you. This is awesome. Whenever I work with one individual, everybody learns. It's really cool. So let's just do it and I'll prove it. Really simple. What is your number 1 strength?
Positivity.
Okay. That is a relationship building strength. So check one off for relationship building. The second one?
Empathy.
Empathy is also relationship building. Check that off towards relationship building. Number 3.
Achiever.
That's an executing theme. Check that one off.
Developer.
Relationship building.
Developer. And communication.
Okay, that's influencing. Do you have your full 34?
Yeah.
Good. Let's leave. What's number 6?
Learner.
That's strategic thinking.
Self-assurance.
That's influencing.
Lou.
Influencing.
Activator.
Influencing. I'm sensing a theme here.
Belief.
Okay, executing.
Arranger.
Executing.
Input,
Wait, what number is input?
12.
Okay, let's go back to just your top 10.
Oh, okay.
Okay, stop. So stop with your top, just in your top 10. How many do you have in the influencing thing?
Oh, wait, did I mark what? What was a ranger? I think I might have marked that.
Executing.
Okay,
Is that your number 10?
let's see. That was number 11. So
Okay,
I
so-
wanted to make sure I took that off.
Yeah, take that off.
Okay. So what were you asking? Sorry.
So how many of in your top 10 do you have of the influencing?
4.
Perfect. Okay, so that's your dominant. Okay, and I'll explain what this means in a minute. And everybody will get this for themselves. What's the one you have 3 of? I think it's relationship building.
Yeah.
Okay, so 3 relationship building. And then you've got what's left?
2 executing and 1 strategic.
Okay, we're gonna take those off the table for now.
Okay.
Because you don't use those strengths to get things done and to strategically think. You use those to help you influence and build relationships. So what I want you to do, Pauline, and I want everybody else to do this, is to write out what's called a strength statement. Okay. It's kind of like your, what is it? When you go into a place of business, they have their mission statement. There you go. Your credo or whatever. Okay. It's like, so I want you to write this statement down. I want everybody to write this down. I love to do everything. I love to do everything in a way. I love to do everything in a way that honors my desire. I love to do everything in a way that honors my desire to, for you, Pauline, it's move people forward, because that's 4, and connect with the right people, 3. So Pauline is, I love to do everything in a way that honors my desire to move people forward and connect with the right people. In that order. 4, 3.
Thank you. This is so helpful. I hope that everybody else is getting the same benefit that I am. This is amazing.
Okay. So I want you to think about this, Pauline. I love you. I'm Pauline. Let's pretend you were going to go into an interview. Okay. Like I'm no joke. If people come to me and talk with me for 30 minutes about their strengths, I'm going to teach them how to go into an interview and get any job they want, anytime they want. And this is how I would go into an interview right now. And the interview always does the same thing. So, Pauline, tell me about yourself, right? And the first thing out of your mouth is, well, my name is Pauline Erickson. I love to do everything in a way that helps, and that honors my desire to move people forward and connect with the right people. Boom. Right, just right in your face, interviewer. You got me in a nutshell in 1 sentence, right? And then we can break down all your strengths and go into the interview after that. But we're going to start for right now. This is your strength statement. So it's for you, Pauline, it's all about people. Do you see that? You believe that, yes? And anytime you're being asked to do anything that has nothing to do with people, it's going to be a low energy activity, in which case you'll resist or not even do it at all. Right? Or what's the, not so much hesitate is one word for it, but procrastinate. Right? So just curious, woo is one of your top 10 strengths, yes? Right? And so people of high woo would rather just be talking to people all day long.
Yeah. I like the face-to-face, definitely. Yeah.
Wouldn't it be better if you just hired a bunch of people to handle all of your admin work?
Oh, yeah. And I'm better with the big picture than the details. Like the details just kind of bore me. So, yeah.
Because the details have nothing to do with people.
No, right. Yeah.
Or do they, right? So what you can do is we can look at the monotonous stuff, focus on how it's going to help a person, and that's how we'll shift our energy towards that activity. We'll stop hesitating, we'll stop procrastinating, and we'll get it done. Because we are clear that it's going to help us move people forward and connect with the right people as well. Yes? So that's how Pauline can get her, I don't know, I don't know, like list making done, is thinking about the people that have to do with those lists.
Or making my list with other people
There you go. Yeah,
in the
right.
same room.
Oh yeah, totally. People of
Yeah.
high woo do so much better when they're sitting in a room getting their work done where there's people walking around, even if you're not interacting with them. If they're just around and there's activity, like it's my number 4 strength. And so for me, I'm way more productive when I'm sitting in like a coffee shop or a restaurant. You know what I mean? And I'm just at my computer banging away because I could just feel the energy and the activity that's happening around me. And I don't have to even talk to them. Just knowing it's around.
You know what I'm picking up here too, brief. When you are speaking like that, my strength statement, like if I was to say that to somebody, it would activate all of my feel good nonverbal communication cues. And I think that would show somebody, not only is she saying something, she believes what she's saying, which makes it more congruent. And when we're more congruent, people want to get more on board with this. They don't shy away from us. They kind of draw more in. Is that correct?
Correct. That's wonderful. Imagine like, so instead of, so I like to write strength statements out every single day based on whatever it is I got going on, the dominant thing I got going on. And so like for me, if I'm teaching a class, right, and I've got like 10 or 15 people there, my strength statement at that moment would be, I love to get people enrolled in doTERRA in a way that honors my desire to move people forward and blah, blah, blah. Do you understand? Like I would repeat that to myself all the time. And then even when I'm closing, I'm thinking it. So now I'm excited to share with you how to get started with doTERRA in a way that honors my desire to connect with you all and get things done. Right? Or connect with you all and move you forward, or move people forward and get things done, or move people. For me, it's 5 influencing strengths, which means, I'll explain what that means in a minute. And I have 3 strategic thinking strengths as my dominant. So me, I love to do webinars. I love to do workshops. I love to do everything in a way that honors my desire to move people forward and think, create, and learn. This is why I like to interact with people, because I need that learning process. I need to learn from you. I can't just sit here and spout out stuff. So I demand that interaction. So that's why I tell people right at the beginning, turn on your camera and activate the chat, because I need to learn something today. It's not good enough for me to just go, blah, 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 you know, although it's fun. As a fellow woo, I know you understand that. So, okay, good stuff, Pauline. So everybody, so Kelly and Alex, so much clarity and so empowering. Awesome. I'm so glad you guys are getting that. That's wonderful. Everybody write your strength statement. And if you're struggling with it, let's fix that. Let's do that right now, because I want you to own this before we move on to the next part. If you're not owning it, if you don't feel good about it, if it doesn't feel like you, let's talk about it. Because for me, so while we're waiting for whoever wants to chat or whatever, if you have any questions. Oh, here we go. I can't read that. Megan and Jeanette, I think it says. I'm not quite clear on the connecting with the right people. The right isn't quite clear to me. Okay, cool. Megan, I think it's Megan. Megan, do you want to unmute yourself for a second? Let's talk about it.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Hi. So I haven't done all 34, but my top 5 are all blue.
Okay, that's pretty good. That's probably your dominant thing. Like it doesn't even matter what all your other ones are, okay?
Yeah, they're very blue.
What are the top 5? What are they?
So that's what I have to go get, actually. So the first one is, I think it's relator. Oh gosh, I'm sorry.
It's important that we know that one, because that one's important.
Yeah, hold up. I got it. Okay. Oh no, top one is individuation.
Okay.
Individualization, I mean.
Yep.
Second is positivity.
Okay.
Third is connectedness. Fourth is empathy. And 5th is developer.
Okay. So, okay. Gotcha. So you're very upbeat. You love to compliment people. You can see what's unique and different about the people that you connect with.
Mm-hmm.
And empathy. Yes.
Yeah.
And then you can feel people's feelings. Yes.
Yes, a lot.
Okay. So the right people is not really a filter at all. Everyone is the right person.
Maybe that's right. Maybe
Yeah.
that's why I was confused by that.
Yeah, that's what I mean by the right people. I always have to explain it because whenever I talk to dominant relationship builders, not all of them are like you. Some of them don't like to build relationships very much at all. In fact, they've only built a relationship with maybe 2 or 3 people.
Uh-huh.
But and so this is the high relator, low includer situation. So when someone has relator like in their top 12 or 13, but includer in like their bottom 25 to 34,
Right.
these are the type of people who do not build relationships the way you do. They build relationships very reluctantly and inclusively and in just small groups of maybe 1 or 2.
Right.
So that's why I throw in the right people so that people understand the right people could be a lot of people. It could be everybody. It could be some. It could be just a couple. It just depends. But for you, it's everybody. Yes, Megan?
Right. Yes.
All right. So that's the right people. It's pretty much everybody you meet.
So then my statement would be, I love to do everything in a way that honors my desire to connect with everyone.
Sure. Totally. If that feels right, then you make that your power statement.
I'm not sure if it does feel right. I'm not sure. That's why I was kind of trying to figure that out. I mean, I do kind of connect with everyone. It's true.
Megan, I totally think it means, because having empathy that high, you have to understand that like people of high empathy, they have the ability to like Megan, tell me if you can do this. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it this way.
Yeah.
If I blindfolded you, okay, and walked you into a room full of people.
Yes.
You could tell me within an instant what the vibe is in that room. Yes?
Yes, probably. Yes.
Yeah. Do you realize that's like a crazy, like super mutant power? You know what I mean? Like that, you might as well be Spider-Man. You know what I mean? It's like this crazy power that you have. So why would somebody have a power like that? It's because that's how they gauge who they're going to interact with, how they're going to get things done, how things are going to be created, right? And who's going to help everyone move forward. You can establish quickly who's the alpha in the group, right? You know what I mean? And who's not, or whatever. It's like all of those things, but you lead with your feelings about those things. You don't look at people and break them down intelligently up here. It's all emotionally intelligent in here.
Yeah, very heart centered, and sometimes.
So you do love to do everything in a way that connects with people, because it's the connecting with people that helps you decide, what do we do? How do we get things done? How do we learn from this, right? How do we help people move forward? Do you feel that?
Yeah.
But before I go on the next one, tell me if you have any resistance to the concept of believing that who you are is a connector of people. What about that scares you?
No, I don't have, it's just, I don't know any other way to be.
Yeah. Wonderful. So own it.
Yeah.
What's wonderful, I want you to know this, Megan, okay, FYI, you can be a powerful CEO of a large corporation and have these strengths. It's possible.
Yeah.
Because I've met people just like you, similar strengths, not the same ones, right? But similar strengths who have similar desires, and they do lead powerful businesses in doTERRA. They're out there. All right. That was one of the weird things I did once was I had a whole bunch of blues and presidentials send me their strengths. Aisha, by the way, was one of those. And I just said, send me your strengths. And if you don't know me and we don't really know each other that well, just send me your strengths. I'm just going to look at them and I'm going to read you. And Aisha, I remember Aisha was one of the first ones I looked at. It's kind of cool that I'm thinking about it. And I remember telling Angela, like, wow, she is amazing. And she takes people out there. Can everyone agree about that, about Aisha? Boy, she can take us out there, boy, in outer space. And it's so wonderful. It's a great ride, right? And I remember telling Angela, because Angela knew more about Aisha than I did at the time. Now Aisha and I are like, we get each other so well. And I love her to death. But I remember telling Angela, is this who this person is? And she goes, oh my gosh, it's totally her. But anyway, so here's a great example. Powerful leader doing things in a way that's really infinitely unique to who she is. The difference between the people who are having success authentically and the ones that aren't is simply that they've embraced who they are. And they either knew who they were because that's who they are, or they knew who they were because they learned their strengths and chose to own it. I think a lot of people who are on stage, the one constant I've noticed is that all of them love and own who they are. And they're only worried that who they are is going to be for too much for other people.
Mhm.
Okay. So
Yeah.
does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
How are we doing, Megan? It's Megan, right? Am I getting that right? I'm sorry.
Megan, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
How do I
Thank
pronounce
you.
it?
What?
How do I pronounce it?
Megan.
Megan.
Like month of May and then Gen. I don't know.
I
Jen,
want to make
Jen.
sure. I kept talking over you, and I don't mean to do that.
You're good.
Okay. Thank you, Megan. Wonderful. All right. Anybody else? Everybody else getting this? Because in order to move on to the next part, we want to start embracing who we are and test driving it. Let's apply it to some of the things that we're going to talk about.
Eddie,
Yes.
there was someone on here, hold on, let me look, that was Jerry. You said you could use some help with your statement. Do you want to do one more? I think it's such powerful learning for everybody to
Yep.
see you work with individuals. So Jerry, do you want to come on and we'll help you out?
Thank you, Aisha. I appreciate you catching that.
Okay. Oh. Okay. I've got
Hi,
my
Jerry.
computer on and my phone, so I can't hear you on my phone for some reason.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. I'm talking with Jerry.
Okay. If I turn my computer on, I'm in an echo chamber.
Can you mute your computer? Just turn the speaker off.
Well, I did, but I'm not getting any sound out of my phone.
Okay. Why are you turning on your phone?
You know what?
Just kidding.
I'm going to put my headset on.
Okay.
I think that'll be more effective. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes,
You can't hear me. There we go.
I hear you.
So
I
much
hear you.
better. I can
All
hear
right.
you. Perfect. Yay.
Hey, Jerry, talk to me.
Okay, so top 5. 1 is connectedness, 2 strategic, 3 activator, 4 achiever, and 5 learner.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. I was too slow. Do that again. Number 1.
That's okay. Connectedness.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Connectedness. Okay, next.
Uh-huh. Strategic.
Okay.
Activator,
Yeah.
achiever,
Yeah.
and learner.
Okay. Do you have your full 34?
I do. So in my top 10, I have 4 strategic.
Okay, well, let me, what's your
Oh,
number
yeah.
6? Let's just do it
My
that way.
6 is ideation.
Okay. Next.
7 is command.
Yeah.
8 is futuristic.
You are intense. I love it.
9 is arranger.
Uh-huh.
And 10 is woo.
You ever intimidate people with your creativity?
No.
Okay, good. Go on. All right, so what is your question?
I'm getting a statement around that.
Okay, well, we got 4 strategic thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Connectedness, activator, achiever. Command, oh, okay. 3 activator, command, and woo. So we got 3 influencing.
Influencing. Uh-huh.
Okay. 2. Oh, here it is. 2
2
executing.
relationships. No,
Right.
2 relationship and 1 executing, isn't it? Oh, maybe not.
No, it's 2 executing, 1 relationship.
Oh,
And it's
okay.
interesting because your relationship building is your number 1. It's almost like you put that there just to make sure you don't die alone.
Say that again.
Well, it's interesting because okay, so you've got a number 1 strength is relationship building, right? It's connected.
Right.
It's
right.
it's like a desire to connect with people, but it's
Sure.
just 1. That's it. It's the only one you have in your top 10, but it's your number 1. So you put it at your front, right? But
Just to make sure I
secretly-
threw it in there.
Yeah, but secretly, you're all about making sure you're all about making sure that you're learning and creating and thinking and then you're moving people forward, but you come in with the guys, the beginning of connection.
See, and so talking about the top and the bottom strengths. So my bottom strength, my number 34, is includer,
Yeah.
which seems like it's like the opposite of connectedness. I mean, it seems like it would be closer to connectedness.
No. Okay. So let me explain what connectedness is.
Okay.
So, by the way, where is relator for you? I need to know this.
Relator is 20.
Oh, okay. All right. So that's not relevant. Okay, move on. So, okay. So connectedness it kind of ties into more of your ability to think, create, and learn. Connectedness is your ability is how you see that all things are connected.
Absolutely.
I want to give everybody a little, like a break on some of this. These words that Gallup chose to describe these strengths are not all good, but they're better than what I would come up with. The reason why they're not all good is because so many of us look at a word, bring our baggage and drama to that word, and totally miss the point of what the strength is.
Mm-hmm.
So people of high connectedness, it doesn't mean they like to connect with people. It doesn't mean that. It actually means that there's a clear view or a vision of how things are connected, but it has to do with people only.
Oh.
How all things are connected, and we use that to build relationships with people, even for you at a smaller scale. Because for you, it's more important to move people forward than it is to connect with them. Do you
Right, but I feel like I'm always looking at how things are connected.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Right, but how they affect the first part is how they affect people, but still how they affect everything. So like someone of high connectedness would have no trouble with this statement of everything happens for me. Because I can see how
or for a reason, or
for a reason is a good way to put it. But here's my thing is that, like, okay, everything happens for a reason, but that reason can always be of value to me. Yes. That's what I mean. So even if bad things happen, I don't have to look at them as things that happened to me. I can look at them as things that happened for me.
Right.
And you can see that, right? So it's easy for you.
I can, yeah.
So your connectedness really kind of feeds into your strategic thinking strengths, because there's a lot of head work, but you can use it to develop better relationships with the people that you're trying to move forward.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Does that make sense? And to be present with them. Includer is, I laugh because, relator isn't high, so this will help. This won't be too hard. But includer basically means that everyone it gets to have a piece of me, essentially, right?
Oh, okay.
You're like, no.
No.
No, people of low includer are very good at filtering people.
Okay. All right.
Does that make sense, right?
It does. Yeah.
Some people get in, most don't.
Eddie,
That
can I
would
ask
be
you?
true. Yeah.
Go ahead, Ariana.
Can I ask you on the saying it does? Sorry to interrupt, but it's just relevant to this conversation. You were saying the relator was low for Jerry, but for me, I think I have it high. So could you explain like how you were looking at relator and why you were making those comments and what?
Sure. Where is includer for you, Ariana?
Relator is number 4.
Okay, and where's includer?
No, or let me make sure. No, I'm sorry. Relator's number 8. And then includer is number 28.
Okay, so Ariana is a slightly more extreme example of how you feel about people, Jerry. Jerry, you have the ability to let in a little bit more people than Ariana does.
Okay.
And I mean a little bit more. Okay, not a gargantuan amount.
Right.
Whereas Ariana, the way dominant high relators and low includers. So Ariana's a great example. Where I've met people even with relator number 1, includer 34. This is the most extreme, okay? So what I'm gonna describe to you is an extreme example of that. And Ariana, you're somewhere in there and you can decide where. High relators, and I'll say this is funny because my wife, high relator, low includer, okay? This is how her and I operate. I have includer and relator right around the middle, which means I don't care. I'll help anybody I need to help. And if I can't help them, I'm fine, goodbye. If I can, I'm like, cool, come in, okay? I'm pretty, it doesn't matter to me. So when I go to a party, if my wife and I were to go to a party, the way my strengths work, especially with Woo and Activator and all this other stuff, I can instantly connect with anybody that I meet at that party, and I can hang out with them the whole night and just have a wonderful time talking to 4 or 5 people. Put me in a party, send me in a room with 100 people. I'm going to walk out of that room with 100 new friends. Okay, that's me. Ariana's the opposite. High relators, low includers, when they go to a party, the first thing they try to find is someone they've built a deep connection with already.
Mm.
If that person's not there, they try to find a dog or some animal to go hang out with. And if they can't find that, they look for the window to crawl out of. Like it's that quick. Yes, Ariana?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I actually feel like I have the skill set to make conversation with anyone. So I don't feel like I'd crawl out of the window. Like I feel like I could
Sure.
easily start a conversation. But I think where it's different for me, the dog thing is definitely resonant. So when I relate to people, I usually look at their animal if they have one first, like kind of ignore the person.
All
But
right.
I think how I do it is that I probably wouldn't make 100 friends and stay there talking to them for 5 hours. Like if the person interests me and I can go deep, I would engage and I could be there for 5 hours. If I can't go
That's
deep,
it.
then I
Mhm.
get bored and I'd rather go home.
If I can go deep. Because if we can't go deep and there's too much small talk, next,
Yeah.
right? So relators don't like small talk at all. They want deep conversations. Ariana, do you have Woo in your top 10 or 12 or 13?
No, I have Woo low as well.
What's your influencing strength?
My influencing strength, I have communication in my top 10.
Oh, there it is. Okay. So people of high communication, and Ariana, I've witnessed it. I saw it. You can speak from your heart.
Mm.
And what's really cool about people of high communication is obviously we can talk your ears off, but we speak from the heart in a way that other people find very entertaining and engaging. And so we become kind of popular as long as we're not abusing it, right? So that kind of offsets, but ultimately the relator low includer desire is to just build deep relationships with maybe 1 or 2 people, and that's it. But here's what I love about relators, and I'm going to give you massive props in this, Ariana. And I know this about you already because we met and we talked, but people of high relator, low includer will have 2 or maybe 3 tops, really, really deep relationships. And with those people, they can, like Ariana, I bet you have 1 or 2 friends or maybe even 3 that you could call up at 3 in the morning and say, I'm in trouble. I don't have time to explain. I need you at my house right now. Click. And that person will be there. Yeah. They won't they will just be like, I'm here for you. What do you need? Right. And you have to understand that's another mutant superpower because I don't have that. Okay. I don't build relationships that deep with people. I can have deep conversations and we can cry together, but I don't feel like I've got that. You know what I mean? I feel like if I call a person, I got to tell them a story and convince them to show up at my house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Hence,
for me, I feel like it's even more than 3 people, but it's just most of the people that stay in my life I can go deep with.
yeah. And so Jerry, you have that same thing, but you've probably got more like 10 or 15 people is my guess.
Maybe.
Okay. All right. That's fair
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
So, and that's visual by the fact that relator isn't super low, but it's not really high either. It's just like, it's like in the middle, you know, I'm sorry.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So you're not as objective and so on. So people of high relator tend to be very suspicious of people like me who are very loud and outgoing and just want to get in your face and be your friend. Right? At first there's a suspicion, but then once they realize, oh, this person's pretty deep, I can get something from this, then they're cool. I got to work a little hard with the high relator, low includers, right? Like I guarantee, Ariana, you didn't get me when you first saw me. Took a little while, but when I did, now we're in, right?
Yeah.
Now she knows I'm legit. I'm real. I'm cool. Anyway, and that's like a statement. That's like a testimonial to me in the fact that I tell the truth and so on. So if I get Ariana's endorsement, everybody else, trust me, you could do worse.
Thanks, Betty.
All right, my pleasure. Thank you. Okay, Jerry, how are we doing on this? Did you-
We're doing okay, except for the statement. It's like,
Okay.
I'm having a hard time incorporating that into a statement.
All right, I love to do everything in a way that honors my desire to think, create, and learn and move people forward. Does that not feel like you?
To think, create.
I love to do everything in a way that honors my desire to think, create, learn, and move people forward.
Eddie,
Yes?
And
I
Hmm.
share something that I think might be helpful for the group if they're feeling stuck.
Yeah.
And you can tell me if
Yeah.
I'm correct in this. Because I remember when I was first asked to make my statement, I was really confused, but it was because I was overthinking it and I wasn't following the steps. And so when Eddie went through each domain and kind of gave that phrase of each domain, and then you basically kind of fill in the blanks, right? So I'd love to do everything in a way that honors
Got
the
it.
desire,
Got it.
and then you take the statement from the dominant domains and you fill those into the blanks. And so that if you go through and read as everyone's writing those out, that's what they begin to look. Because I was thinking, oh, I have to come up with my own language, and again I was
Right.
thinking it and kind of missing it. So hopefully if you're still confused, that will help you clarify.
That does help. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you don't know, if you don't have your top 10, you're not going to be able to solidify what your dominant domains are, and that's why it's important to get that whole 34.
Yeah, I have the whole thing. So
So it's like,
Okay.
so Jerry, you lead with your mind. You lead with the way your mind works, your thoughts, your visions of the, your visions.
well, like
of the
Ariana
future.
said, I overthink it.
Well, okay. I
I
wouldn't
mean,
say
that's well, not anyway.
I wouldn't
Have
say
a
you
tendency to
overthink
spend
it.
time in my head.
Yeah, I wouldn't say you overthink it, but you can overthink it, right? Like we
Okay.
all can.
Right.
Okay, like
right.
even me as
Okay.
3 strategic thinking strengths, I can overthink. The one thing that's interesting about strategic thinking domain is it's different than the other 3 because all the activity that is generated from it is all in here and no one can see it but you.
Right. Right.
Like Jerry, you could go on a long walk and come back feeling like you totally accomplished a ton. Right? But you've got
That's
nothing to show it. You can't say, here, look what I did. What you
Exactly.
can do is you can draw it out, you can paint it out, you can map it out, you can create your vision board or whatever. And those things are the external application of your strategic thinking. And so
Okay.
and you're going to love this too, Jerry. For you, all the thinking and all the visualizing and all that stuff is all designed to help you move people forward. It is your secondary. It is the external application of the internal activity. Do you get it? It is the external application. This is the product that is a result of all my thinking.
Okay.
Helping people get from where they are to where they want to be, the way they want to get there, with you helping them.
Got it. Yep. That makes sense.
That
Yep.
feel
It
like
does.
that's what drives you. That's what fires you up. That's what makes you get up in the morning.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I'm a naturopath, so I help people with their health. I mean, and with the doTERRA. So it's, yep, that's a very true statement.
So how do we do that with everything, Jerry, right? So that
Mhm.
we're always picking up hammers instead of ham sandwiches, right?
Right.
That's
right.
the goal.
Okay.
But we can't do that. We can't even learn how to do that until we first own who we are. So Paul's got a great question because Paul's got 3 domains in there. So this is a really good one for us to talk about. Jerry, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
All right, awesome. So Paul, let's bring Paul on real quick. Paul, can we have you unmute yourself?
Yeah. Hi.
Hey, brother. Okay, so here's what's really cool. So Paul's got 3 strengths of 3 different domains in his top 10. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so this is like about 20. Every time I do these workshops, about 20% of people have this, and I want to explain this. So before we get into Paul, just for a minute, Paul, I want you to hear this. There are people in here that have like 5 or 6 or even 7 of a particular domain in their top 10. It's a very dominant desire to the point where it might as well be the only strengths they have. Okay, and so it really it focuses them on everything they do that way because it's such a powerful and strong desire. You, my friend, are different. You've spread out your desires among 3 different domains. So you don't have that same intensity about one or the other. So when people have 3 of 3 different domains, it's really hard to determine which one of the 3 is more important because they all feel important. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so let's help Paul out. Paul, what is your in fact, you know what? Let's do this. I'll do something really cool. So I hope everybody wrote this down. I'm clearing it out. Here we go. So let's do this so everybody can see what I see whenever I look at a person's strengths. Paul, what is your, let's look at your top 10.
All right. Number 1, responsibility.
Okay, one second. This one takes a while. Okay, next one.
So that's under executing.
Yeah.
Number 2 is developer.
All right.
Under relationship.
Got it.
Number 3 is arranger, again, under executing.
Got it.
Number 4 is positivity, under relationship again.
Okay.
Number 5 is learner. So that's
Okay,
over the
stop.
strategic.
So we're going to stop right there. And what I want you all to see this is when you already know a person has 3, 3, and 3, I stop with the top 5 first. First thing I do is I stop with the top 5 and look. The top 5 are where your energy is highest among the 10. So right away, we can see a pattern just in the top 5 alone. Executing, right? And then over here, relationship building. So already of the 3, your dominant 2 are executing and relationship building.
The funny thing is that I've got 3 and 3 in executing a relationship, and even though they're lower down than the 10, I've got 4 in strategic thinker.
Okay, well, let's look at the next 7.
Okay, so after learner, number 6 is analytical.
Okay, I don't know why I said 7. That was weird. Okay, analytical. Okay, got it.
Then the next one, number 7, is ideation. So
Okay.
all 3 of those are under strategic thinking.
Okay, next.
And then we go back to 8 is under individualization, under relationship. And 9 is belief.
Okay,
So
number
it's
10.
ridiculously uniformly distributed.
Would you consider yourself as someone who's uniformly distributed? Okay, what is your number 10?
Number 10 is intellection.
Got it. All right. Do you enjoy looking inside of yourself and try to figure things out?
I have not. I've done it because my daughter has encouraged me, but I haven't sat and thought about it a lot. That's
Okay.
why I'm on the video now.
So, so we've got 2 executing, 2 relationship building in your top 5. So those 2 look like they're the leaders of the 3. Okay. And then we've got 3 strategic thinking, right?
Yep.
All back to back, which they're like 3 strengths going, don't forget about us. You know, it's like, oh, they're kind of like their own little gang. Like if you look at the way that your 10 are lined up, it's like they've huddled together inside the middle of all your 10 strengths. Do you see that?
Yep.
It's, you know, it's got like this, the visual of itself, like here, like if I were to paint this section red here just for a second.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They've huddled up like as if we were going to forget them or something. Remember, like for me, when I look at strengths, I see them as little people who are just one-dimensional animals that want one thing and one thing only. And 3 of them, like a little gang, have gathered in the middle of your 10. It's kind of interesting how you've done that. So then we've got the relationship building here, another executing here. Wait a minute, hold on a second. Did I do this right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Paul, there's a dominant. You don't have 3, 3, and 3. You've got 4. Yeah, you've got 4 strategic thinking, 3
Yes.
executing, and 3 relationship building. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay, so your dominant is strategic thinking.
But it's
all-
not in the top. It's only one of them in the top 5, which is where I
right.
started.
But look at that's because this like ganging up they've done here in the middle. Do you know what I mean? They're just kind of like they decided that they're the center of the attention that all 10 are ultimately getting.
Now you know why I asked for help.
Yeah. I totally get that. So this is kind of this is a thing that you and I needed to talk about. Okay, so I'm just kind of helping other people kind of learn something really cool about strengths that I wasn't planning on teaching, but I think everyone's going to get some massive value here. Your number 5th strength is what I call the anchor strength. All right, this is something I teach about in my private group. I'm going to give you all this information here for free. It's pretty cool. So your number 5th strength, your anchor group, your anchor strength that all the other strengths spin out from. So if it was like a spiral or a top, it would be the one in the middle, and then you spin it and all the other ones just circle around it. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So let me explain what that means. Responsibility is your number 1 strength. People of high responsibility, they don't deal in fluff. They don't deal in a lot of drama and big dramatic words. They just kind of explain what things are. They just tell the truth. They're people that are dependable and we can count on them. Yes? So would you say that you're someone that people can count on, Paul?
Yes, I have trouble committing because when I commit, I commit. So
Right.
I worry about
don't-
committing. I can't.
Yeah, and if you don't think you can commit to it, you don't think you can do it, you won't say it. So you're dependable based on what you say you're going to do.
Yes.
Tell me about your desire to gather information to improve who you are. Tell me about that.
So I love to learn about things and understand stuff. I'm trained as a scientist and an engineer,
Uh-huh.
and I like to have people understand how things work and explain.
Why?
I love it when the light bulbs goes off on other people's heads.
So how does this desire fuel your ability to always make good on your promises? Who's that humming over there?
Oh, me. Sorry.
It's just this-
Let me stop.
if I sign up for something, I'm going to do it with a count of problems. I find solutions to the problems. I'm a problem solver.
Do you see that? You know you can solve a problem because you know you can learn anything. Your learner supports your responsibility desire.
Yes,
It backs you up. It's at the heart of your top 10 strengths.
I see.
So your dominant domain is strategic thinking because at the heart of who you are comes out of what you learn. You
Yes,
are who you are.
yes, it's interesting because any interactions I have with people about doTERRA, it has to be things that I've learned about and seen that has worked, and I feel good about it and positive about it, even from scientific things, and I can explain it to people, and this is why it makes sense to me.
Did you guys hear him connect learner and positivity?
Yeah.
Did you guys hear him do that? Right? So you take things, you learn things about people so that you can find out what's good in them too, don't you?
Yes.
That's developer. You use your learner to fuel your developer. How do you put things together? Based on what you're learning works together, hence the engineer in you. A ranger is being able to put pieces together for maximum productivity. You figure out how to put those together based on how you learn. Learn first, arrange second. Do you feel that?
Yes.
Right? How do you analyze? You learn. How do you get creative? You learn. How do you find what's unique and different in individualization of other people? You learn. How do you build your core values through your belief strength? You learn. How do you look deep inside of you and understand who you are through intellection? You learn.
All right, that's central. I got it.
You get it? Your
Mhm.
mind is where the center of all who you are begins.
Okay.
Megan, how do you know this guy? Oh, you don't? Okay, I just want to you look like you were getting emotional for a second. Okay, maybe I was reading that wrong. It's all good.
Thank
No,
you.
I just relate to what I just like hearing about how he combines everything, and it makes sense to me.
Okay, so you're getting value from this.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Everybody else, This is awesome, right? So I want you to think about this. This is, now I can't expect everybody to do this. This is why my private group is a thing, because it can take a while for some people to understand this. When people call me and say, hey, can we do one-on-ones? I'm like, join my group. That's the best way to get a one-on-one with me. Because in my group, I break down all of these strengths. I help people understand all of these things. I've got so many videos and trainings in there. I put people through live pushes so that I constantly in teaching, constantly helping people love who they are. And Paul, you just learned something pretty powerful about yourself, my friend.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay.
So,
Ariana, go ahead.
Just to have a quick question, just so I understand, it was the learner that was his anchor strength, and I understand that you probably don't have time to get into it right now, and I'm hearing join the other group. But can the anchor strength fall anywhere in your top 10? Like, were you just figuring that out because of the way his strengths? Can you just like?
Let me explain. So, Leah, let me kind of explain the anchor strength thing. This is not a Gallup thing. This is not a thing Gallup talks about or ever even brought up. I made it up. I made it up based on working with 1,000 people over the last year and a half. And I'm noticing a pattern. See, my number one strength is strategic. And I want you guys to understand how strategic works for those of you who have it. People of high strategic can take multiple ways of doing things in their head, and they can pick the best one based on all those things. Now, that doesn't mean that that one thing is the actual best way to do things. It's just the best based on all the things that they know. So like, for example, if I was going to travel to Texas from Utah, my brain would be like, okay, let's look at all the different ways to get there and pick the best one. But if there are some other ways to get there that are better that I don't know about, then I won't do them because I don't know about them. So I can't quite pick the best one. It's only based on what I know. So how do I use my number one strength strategic to help people is every time I help someone new and different, like I just did with Paul, I just learned right now. What Paul just taught me was how these little strengths can gather up and gang up in the middle and become a dominant over all the other ones. And so now that's more ways to do things. And so every time I work with an individual, I get better and better. And over my years, I've learned some patterns about people that I've had to create terms for. And that is this one is the anchor strength. And so far, when I talk with people individually, it's always proven true that their number 5 is like it's the real leader of the bunch. Number 1 is at the front, taking all the hits, but number 5 is calling the shots. And not everybody gets this right away. I'd say about half of you are going, oh my gosh, it's so true. The other half is going, I don't see how that works. And I totally get that. That's fine. But when I work with individuals, as I go and I talk with them and I learn and I try to understand, because learner is my number 6, I started to see it very clearly, exactly why it's like really at the heart of who they are. So like for you, Ariana, what is your number 5?
Empathy.
Okay. All right. So what is empathy? Being able to feel other people's feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Can you feel how it's the quarterback?
To me, I thought it would be my number 1 strength. I mean, connecting,
yeah.
1, but I was like surprised it was number 5. I was like, whoa.
It's in the middle to protect itself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I want you to think about these as like 1 through 10 as a physical thing, right? It's literally like, it's like the heart. See, the heart and the body is right dead center, and it's in the middle of all the fat and all the other thing. It's in between the head, it's in between the legs, it's in between the arms, right? Well, your number 5 strength is the same thing. It's padded between number 1 and number 10 because it's really at the heart of what makes you wonderful is your ability to feel other people.
And so really, if I'm understanding this correctly, because I thought about it as weight, like it really helps my mind with the visceral examples. And so, you know, we just talked about 3 that kind of ganged up. I love that even analogy, right? And then they had this weight. But it would be even true on just landing on number 5, even if the weight was distributed with other strengths.
Yeah, they all kind of come to the captain for advice.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like your number 1 strength is what again?
Connectedness.
Connectedness, right? It comes to it for advice. What feels right, Ariana? You know, this looks like how things are connected, but what feels right? Well, okay, let's just not go. We're not going to go at this intellectually. We're going to go at this emotionally.
Right.
So connectedness refers to your feelings before it makes a judgment on its own on how things are connected. Is that kind of cool?
So cool. And even I have a lot of strategic thinking. So I loved your analogy of flying to Texas. but everything I do still comes into, but it doesn't feel right, even in strategy and strategy. Right, still too.
You're feeling it, right? You're like, oh my gosh, it's like at the heart of, okay, so we're getting off on a tangent a little bit, but like, this is like, for me, the stuff like I love talking about because it's complex, but it really, oh man, like for you, Ariana, this is like really who you are and what makes you wonderful. And so like for me, I'm like, Ariana, trust your gut with everything. Your gut will always make the right decision. I'm going to bet that you probably have deliberative very low.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what is it?
Let me pull it back up here.
This is a weird thing I do when I start predicting what people's strengths are.
It's so cool. This stuff fascinates me. Like I could geek out on this forever. It's number 33.
Okay. So how did I know that she had deliberative very low? People of high deliberative love to think over everything before they make a decision because they want that one decision to be the perfect one and they don't waste any energy. Not Ariana. You are so much better when you just trust your gut. Sure, you'll get things wrong and sure, you'll get things right, but you're going to do that. You're going to get things right so much more often than you would if you tried to deliberate over things. Don't just trust yourself. When you doubt yourself, you're going to think you need to overthink it, and don't. Trust yourself. Pick up the hammer, not the ham sandwich. Yeah?
Love it. Yes. And that really comes into being consistent too. We were talking about that at the beginning of the call, and I have that low as well. But I think it's because of that energy of trusting my gut. So there needs to be some flexibility there for me to change. So super cool. Thank you so much.
Hey, you're so welcome. All right. We're running low on time here. I want to know that everybody gets some massive value today. Like, was this awesome? Paul's got his thumbs up. Yes, Paul, you're the man, brother. I love it. I love it. Pauline's loving it. Everyone's okay. I'm going to look around to see. Did everybody there's some quiet people who are just like, no, I think I'm asleep now. I don't know. That's good. Okay. So I want to share with you guys one real quick thing that I think will make a big difference for you all. It's like the most inspiring thing that I've ever come up with, which is a formula. And it's the formula to create the belief in yourselves. A lot of people keep saying things like, how do I build confidence with my strengths and so on? I just want to share with you all this real quick formula and invite you all to engage in something with me. So the formula that I'm going to teach you is how to build a solid belief in who you are and never change it for anybody ever again. And so how this formula works is you take your talents. Oops, let me go back. Sorry. Let's be real. These are unique talents. Your unique talents, strengths. Okay. And you add a big fat dose of action. Okay, just like I was talking about with Ariana, you put it into action. You take your talents and strengths and you put them out there and you do things in a way that honors who you are. I love to sample people in a way that honors my desire to move people forward. I love to follow up with people in a way that honors my desire to connect with people. I love to enroll people in a way that honors my desire to think, create, and learn, and so on, right? And so this last part I want to share with you is how this works is we put these unique talents you have into action, and then we create small wins. So these are small wins. A win is anything like, oh, I texted somebody and they responded. I called someone and they answered the phone. I invited them to try a sample and they tried them. I followed up when they actually tried the sample, right? I invited them and they came to the class. They came to the class and they enrolled. They enrolled and they got on LRP. They got on LRP and they started sharing. They started sharing and they started doing the business. All these little things that we do that all came as a result of my unique talents and strengths lead to certainty. Okay, not confidence, my friends. You deserve so much more. Confidence is not good enough. Like, I'm not confident I have a right hand. Okay, I'm certain. I'm not confident that I can lead you through this minefield of life, okay, with your strengths. I'm not confident. I'm certain because I've done the work. I created so many small wins that I'm finally convinced I am valuable. And nobody can take that away from me because I did it. A lot of them, a lot of little wins over the last couple of years. And so what I want to invite you to do is to take your unique talents and strengths, put them into action immediately, create those small wins, tie them to your strengths so that you can get certainty that who you are is all you have to be. That's it. It's all I have to be. And I want you to write this down, am enough. Because I proved it. I put my talents and strengths into action. I created small wins that I can actually look at my strengths and go, oh, that's how I did it. It looks like I am valuable. And I do deserve the results that come from them because they came from the talents and strengths that I've been blessed with. They're perfect because they're me and they're ones that no one else could have. I am enough. I am all I ever have to be. I hope that fires you all up. My goal for you all is to, after this, in the next 24 hours, to create as many of these small wins as you possibly can so that you can create momentum to want to do it for another 24 hours. But here's what's going to happen is if you don't do this work over the next 24 hours, then the 24 hours after that is going to be gone. You're going to roll back to who you were before this call. And for me, being 5 influencing strengths, my friends, I'm obsessed with what you're going to do after this call. Okay? Like, it's all I think about. I'll wake up tomorrow and hope that you all put the work in. But what I do is I create things to help me guarantee it. Help me guarantee it, that you're going to do the work. And so I have my group. It's a private group, and all I do is teach these things. I have tons of content in there specifically designed to help you love who you are and put them into action. I'm putting a group right now through a 6-week push. And ultimately, my goal is to ultimately help the world love who they are through doing actions that are authentic. Does that make sense? Yeah. And I'm inviting everyone to join my group. When I first started, it was in April of last year because I had to do this, because if I didn't, then I couldn't own my strengths. So I have, since April of last year, I now have 450 people as a member of my program. And my goal is to get it to 1,000. And then that 1,000 is my founding group. That's my founding members. These are my people. And I'm going to take those 1,000 people. I'm going to help change the world. So what I'm offering for those people that join my group to be in that founding group is a one-time cost. You're in, and then you're in forever. That means you don't ever pay anything ever again. Once you're in my group, you're always in my group, and I will always deliver content, and I won't ask you to pay for it ever again. I just want that one-time commitment to show me that this is what you want too. Because if I open up a Facebook group, the world will join and nobody will do anything. I need something from you to show me you're in. So I've made it ridiculously cheap, so cheap that people keep telling me you're stupid for doing this. I'm not joking. I coach with very high-level marketers, my friends, and they all tell me my price is too low. So I said, fine, I'm going to do this for 1,000 people, and that's it. So in order to get in my group, you can do 4 payments, okay, to break it out if you want, of $97 each. So 4 payments of $97, and that's it. Once the 4th payment is in, you're now a founding member of my group, and you get everything. And by the way, when you make the first payment, you're in automatically, so you get to join me in the 6 weeks that I'm doing right now. So that's roughly almost $400, right? Or if you want, save yourself some money, and you can do 1 payment of $297. That's it, 1 payment, and that's all. You're done. You're in forever. Every time someone joins my group, they get 45 days of audios from me automatically sent to them. There's a way for you to create a trigger so that you get these 45 audios from me every day to keep you applying the things you learned tonight. Every day for 45 days. Because I need to guarantee you're going to do the work, right? I'm figuring that out as best as I can. And I'll do something really crazy for anybody that joins tonight. I've got this thing called the Strengths Planner that I created. It's a 90-day planner to help people apply their strengths to their to-do list. All right? It's all this is. It's $30 value, okay? I will give you one for free if you join the group tonight. And either one, you can do the payments or the one-time payments, up to you. To join the group, it's eddiepvia.com/unleash your strengths. And I've got about 20 of these to mail out this week. So I would be happy to send another 20 if you guys want to do this. It's up to you. Either way, if you join my group, you're going to get a lot of content from me, obviously a lot of support. And I like to work with people that are in my group. Or if you'd like, you can also listen to my podcast, which is called Unleash Your Strengths. Pauline says, what actually happens in your group? Great question. So in my group, I have a ton of content already developed. So you could go in there and you can start watching it and you can get massive value. But it's not good enough for me. So in my group, it's a Facebook group. It's called the Unleash Your Strengths Private Community. I go in there, do trainings consistently. So I'm always doing something in there every day. And right now, we're going through a 6-week push of applying all the basic building activities that are in the daily mentor calls in a way that's authentic to who you are. So currently, we're pushing together. Everyone's building their business in there right now. A lot of doTERRA people. So right now, we're in the phase of sampling like crazy, and we're doing it in your strengths. Every Tuesday, there's a call that's live, that's then recorded, and you can watch it. There's a challenge. And then I start talking about each individual strengths and some of the domains, how they work, in applying those strengths. So it's a very active community. The people that are part of the group can also create accountability groups to help, kicking your butt to help you move forward and so on. So here, let me and please ask questions. Any question you have, I'm happy to do that. Oh, Ariana already put that. Yes.
Oh, will you give everybody an example? Because I think this is really powerful of how you're incorporating Elise's daily mentor calls and maybe like one example about inviting and how each different domain would invite differently. So we're still following the same model, but how we can all learn to own it so it really resonates for us, so you don't feel like you're trying to be somebody that you're not, and just a quick breakdown of what that might look like for everyone.
Oh, that's great. Thank you, Aisha. That's a wonderful idea. So our team is dominantly relationship builders, like doTERRA in general. So there's a lot of relationship builders, and because I've been working with my team on strengths for the last 2 years, when the daily mentor calls got introduced, my team already knew we're not going to change the scripts. We're not going to do anything different than what she laid out. We all know exactly how to do this in a way that honors who we are. So for example, like the easiest one is, let's say, the hundreds names list. Not always, but typically relationship builders who are dominantly 3 or more relationship building hate the 100 names list because they feel like putting a person on a 100 names list would be putting the relationship at risk. Okay. And so what I teach instead is like, okay, because like when Elise Chedevi tells you to put your 100 names list together, she doesn't say anything other than write down the names of people you know, not realizing that a lot of people have an aversion to wanting to do that. So with relationship builders, I show them, think of 100 people that you would love to just say hello to. And all you're going to do is call them and say hello to them with no agenda beyond that. And if anybody in that phone conversation starts talking about any health problems they have or any health concerns, then at that point, you're welcome to invite them to another call, not that call, but another call to go over how doTERRA can help them, right? So a dominant relationship builder would never do anything in a conversation to violate the framework of that conversation, which is, I was just calling to connect with you, not have some kind of secret agenda to invite you and sell you doTERRA, right? So does that resonate with anybody? Mandy says, OMG, yep, okay. Massively, right? So it's those little subtle things. So strategic thinkers would look at that 100 names list as 100 names, which is 100 people. Paul, for example, 100 people we can learn from, the same way that I would say, like, Paul, here's 100 books on engineering. Paul would be like, oh my gosh, I would read those all day, right? But I'm like, all right, I want you to look at these 100 names lists as people that you can learn from, and you get to call them and ask questions and connect with them and learn. And if they happen to mention they have problems, then you get to invite them to another call, same thing, and say, hey, I'd love to share some information that I know that'll help you. I didn't call you for that, so let's talk tomorrow and we can cover it then. If the person says, no, let's talk about this now. All right, good. You got your permission. You can talk about it then. But ultimately, the concept is to do it another time. So for a strategic thinker, it's going about how to use this experience of calling people as a learning experience. Okay? Does that make sense? And that'll give them energy and fuel to go do the work. Influencers, here's 100 names of people to establish where they are and talk to them and find out where they want to go. Talk to them and find out how they want to get there, and invite them to let you be a part of that by setting an appointment to talk to them about doTERRA. All right. Executors, it's 100 names list. So I don't really need to tell you how to do this. You're making a list of names of people who you're going to get things done. So that's pretty simple, right? Right. But then when it comes to inviting them and calling them, the executors are not going to want to spend a lot of time on the phone. So they'll call them first and set a time limit right at the gate. Hey, I was just thinking about you. I got 15 minutes. Let's talk. Right? Or as a strategic thinker, is like, okay, hey, I was just, so ultimately what we're looking at here is breaking them all down in ways that speak to the domain and the strengths themselves. When it comes to closing, and this is, I think this is probably the most important one because it gives a lot of people anxiety. So I go in more in depth with the group, obviously, but here's the gist. When it comes to relationship builders, if you remember this concept and this idea of let's do this together, it's always about let's do this together. So if I was a dominant relationship builder, the way I would do it is, hey, Susan, you told me you got this problem, you've got this problem, and you've got this problem. And I've showed you how the oils can help you. Well, here is a kit. Here's one kit that can help you. And here's another one that can help you. Both of these are really good. This one will help you a little faster. It's got more stuff, so it's a little bit more expensive. Pick either one of these two kits, and then we'll do this together. And as a relationship builder, going in with that vibe and being honest and say, look, I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm here to do this with you. And whether that person you're talking to is a relationship builder or not, it doesn't matter, because you will be authentic and it'll flow from the beginning to the middle to the end. Pauline, how are we doing on that one? Good. Okay. So as an executor, this is fun. An executor is all about that list, right? So it's, here's your problem. Okay, Susan, here's your problem. 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 And here's how it's affecting you. And here's how it's affecting you. And here's how it's affecting you. Here are the options, kit 1 or kit 2. Pick one. I don't care which one. The only option that's bad is not picking an option. And I will show you how to do this step by step. Right? So in my group, we're constantly breaking these things down and challenging people to go on what I call 48-hour challenges to create momentum, and then go do another 48 hours and another 48 hours in short bursts. Essentially, that's what my, Megan's laughing. Okay, cool. So essentially, that's what my group does. That's what actually takes place in my group. It's constant activity, doing things. I don't want people to watch videos. I want people to do the work. But I want them to do the work authentically. So they got to watch the video to get specific, and then we go to work. Me as an influencer, I need to see movement. I need to see results. I need to see, things getting done. So whenever as an influencer, when I close, my thing is always, okay, here's where you are. Here's where you are. Here's where you are. Here's where you are. Here's where you want to go. Here's where you want to go. And here's where you want to go. Well, here's option 1 to get there. Here's option 2. Pick one, and I will help you move from where you are to where you want to go. Right? That's it. That's my influencer desire. I'll help you move there. I'll make sure you get there. Just pick a kit and we'll do this. I'll make sure it happens. And then where it's strategic thinkers, it's like, here's what I learned about you. 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 Here's where I can see you're going. Here's where I can see you're going. Here's where you say you want to go, and I want to help you do that. Here's kit 1. Here's kit 2. Pick any one, whichever one, and I will share with you all the knowledge that it took me years to accumulate in just under an hour. Right? That hour being the wellness consult. All the stuff that it took me years, months, days, or whatever to learn, I'm going to share with you in just an hour to help you get the result you want. Aisha, how am I doing?
we are a few minutes over time, so I want to be mindful of that. And this has been absolutely awesome. So thank you. Are there any last questions or anything before we wrap up? We've recorded this, so I will post the recording on our Visionary Leaders Facebook page. And then Eddie, I'll get that link from you so we can also post that. And I believe it got put in the thread as well, right? Yeah. Ariana added it to the thread there.
Yeah, eddiepvia.com/unleash your strengths. That's the deal. And that's just one of many things that I do to help people out. The podcast and my Facebook page is just where I just dump everything I know so people can learn something.
And I wrote this in the chat, but I highly recommend taking your statement. I just put it on a little Post-it paper and put it on my desk so you can see it and look at that every day and remember it, not just write it down and then toss it in the garbage and forget about this, but really take that in and begin to embrace and love the beautiful person that you are in all of your unique ways, and realize that you are perfect the way that you are, and really focus on strengthening those strengths and focusing there to move your life forward. And this isn't just going to help your doTERRA business, but this is for your life, for your relationships, for everything that you do. And I love what you said, Eddie. It really hit me hard. And when you said in Portland, when you felt like you were worthless, and how the strengths has really helped you come into your power. You're a beautiful example of somebody that's really turned that around, and look at this high vibration and all of this goodness that you are now pouring into the world because you embraced your strengths. So thank you for being an example of that.
That's an honor. Thank you, Aisha, for putting it that way. Got me emotional there just now.
Yeah, so awesome. Anything else before we wrap it up here? Okay, love you all. Happy New Year. And it will take me a little while to get this recording converted, but I will get it posted so you'll have it as a reference. Okay. Have a great night, everyone. And Eddie, thank you so much.
Thank you, Eddie.